Hello guys, welcome back to Let's Build a Desert City, Episode 8, The Market. Now every city has a marketplace, and our city is no exception. It's going to be built in the center of it, near the Keep and the Republic Hall. Now as for the theme of this market, I wanted it to be a grand bazaar, and not like a Bizarro Superman, like a bazaar in like a marketplace. So I wanted cloth hanging down from buildings. I wanted it to be very tightly compact. I wanted it to be pretty obvious that this is the place you're going to go to. So that being said, it had to be different from the houses. So I couldn't stick with the same sort of repeating theme, because then the market would get confused with the houses. And you don't want that. No, you don't. Getting right into the build though. As you can see, we're starting off with our wool as we usually do. The purplish pink wool indicates the center building of our market, and the blue are the outside buildings that would be bordering our central hub. And I wanted the market to be an enclosed place. So in case if, we have a thief, they had to go out one of these main guarded entranceways, so it's going to be harder for them to get away with stealing. Our main building is going to be made out of sandstone, as you can tell, and it's sticking with the traditional theme of the corners being a smooth sandstone. Our sandstone sandwiched there in the middle part, but the bottom part is going to have our archway, but instead of being carved into the building, it's protruding out. And I wanted the building only to have one entrance, so this effect is only going to be on one side. The other sides are going to be pretty much symmetrical, except they're not going to have the protruding bit. And for the rest of the bottom tier of the building, we have our traditional columns. And moving on to the top part of our central building, I wanted to repeat the theme that we used in the castle build for the walls. As you can see, we have columns alternating on whether it's a full column or a half column. And in between each column, we had a detailing effect where we would carve in and create a diamond shape using stairs. And then the second and fifth diamond were extended and had windows placed in to make the build seem more transparent. So for the Ruth, where are you, Ruth? No. For the roof of the central building, I'm going for a dome effect. A lot of our builds here, actually none of the builds here, have actually had a proper dome roof. So I thought now is the perfect time, because when I think bazaar, and not Bizarro, actual market bazaar, I think domes. And if you're looking to try to make a dome roof yourself, there's so many tools out there on the internet. Minecraft circle diagrams are good if you just want a flat circle. If you're looking for domes, there's so many applications out there at your disposal. So don't feel daunted. This was my first go ever making a dome roof, and because of that chart, I knew how to get that nice circle look. Now we pan out, just adding some minor detailing to the build, making those corners not so corner-ish, cutting them down a bit, and then we're adding a nice crowning effect to our roof, because all of our builds, the roofs they've all been monotone. They're one color, they're just red sandstone. So I decided we're going to crown this one on the axes with sandstone. And then it's time for the outside part of the bazaar. I was going to go with the same theme we had for the houses, but the market ended up just looking like another house with a fancy building in the center. So I decided to scrap the idea, and I came in and added some awnings to the side and back of the main building. To help make our awnings look more like cloth as opposed to a solid material like a roof or a rock, I added banners, and this just helped emphasize that this is a cloth roof. Once I was happy with the design, I went ahead and copied and pasted it to the other two sides of the build. Now with our surrounding buildings idea scrapped, we needed something else to add to our bazaar. So I decided we're going to have walls surrounding the marketplace. And within the walls, we're going to have a bunch of market stalls with colored tents. This is going to really help people understand that this is actually a market and not some dude's house. But now we're focusing on the front of what one of the gates to the marketplace is going to look like. It was a lot of wall to cover, and I cut it down so you didn't see me building it all, because me building walls for an extra 3 minutes probably wouldn't be that entertaining. As you can probably tell though, for the theme, we're keeping it nice and simplistic and sort of reusing the theme we had on the walls for the castle. And then at the gateway, there's going to be 2 towers that guards can be posted upon to make sure nobody's doing any shady business within the marketplace, whether it be stealing or selling illegal stuff. And then it was time to come to the wall and just add in our crenellations. Because what is a wall without crenellations? On the inside of the build, repeating the same theme of pillars and crenellations. So not much new there. With the walls done, it's time to focus on the pathways that our traders and citizens will be taking when they're venturing into the market, or they're just passing through to get to the Republic Hall. For the pathway, I decided to stick with the gravel. I usually do gravel in most builds, maybe cobblestone. I wasn't sure if it was going to work in a desert themed city, but ultimately I didn't have many other choices to choose from. So I just bit the bullet and went with it. And overall, I don't think it looks that bad. So right now what I'm doing with the cobblestone and wood is I'm outlining where our tents are going to go and how big and what they're going to look like. So just using wood planks and sandstone corners and then coming with a wool top with some fence posts, you get a nice tent effect. And then adding in those banners and mixing up the colors, by that point you just look like a pro. So I have probably about 15 tents in here, and I was only using 5 colors. So what I did is I went with brown, did all the tents, spaced it out appropriately, because you don't want all 5 browns next to each other. You want it, separated a bit. So we used red, brown, yellow, and orange. Very deserty themed colors, because if you stick an aquamarine blue in there, it's not going to fit in. And once I had all the colors laid out on where they were going to go, it was time to come in with the banners and just place them in to complete our tent. As you can also see in the left and right hand corners, there was no place to put tents in there because I didn't want people walking off the path behind tents, so I instead decided to convert it into a storage area. And then we swap it to nighttime and add in our lanterns. If you're trying to get a good lantern or street light effect, I would recommend using fence post and glowstone. Literally, you just build up 5, extend it out 1, and stick glowstone underneath. And with that, our build is finished. So this is the route a normal trader would take if they come to visit our city. They would make port, travel through the harbor, through a little bit of the city, and then they'll finally reach the entrance to the marketplace. When we first started off the build, we had a theme of having the central building be surrounded in smaller buildings. I'm glad we didn't stick to that. I'm glad we went with the whole tent vibe. And that's it. That's our marketplace. So we zoom out, you can see just how full our city's looking. There's barely any room left, and we're approaching the final episodes of our series. If you've enjoyed this build, please drop a like, subscribe, and favorite, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye then.